Hello, young learners. Welcome back to your journey of learning English grammar for a better performance in the exams. I'm your coach for language as well as for life skills. And today we are starting with a very, very powerful topic. And the name of the topic itself is confusing to many of the students. So, what is the name of the topic? Active and passive voice. What is the meaning of voice? To understand all this, let me take you to our language lab and understand it in detail. So, first of all, let us understand what is voice. Word voice shows whether the subject does the work or receives the action. So, in a sentence, if the action is done by the subject or if the subject is receiving the action, this is shown by the term voice. Let me explain it further. See, in English grammar, voice tells us one thing. And what is that one thing? Who is doing the work and who is receiving the work. If the subject does the work, that is called active voice. And if the subject receives the work, that is called passive voice. Now, let us understand the definition of active voice for further clarity. And for that, let us look at this sentence. She write a letter. Here, she is doing the work. So it's the active voice. Why? Because let us look at the word she. She is the subject, and the performance and the focus is on she word. So this is active voice. Now let us show it in the other way. Let us look at the passive voice with the same sentence. A letter is written by her. Same action, but focus is changed. Here, letter is more important. Now the subject receives the action here. So this is called passive voice. I'm sure by now you will be clear with both of these terms, what is active voice and what is passive voice. So now let us compare the structure of both of type of sentences and see the main difference. In active voice, subject is active, means subject comes first, and in passive voice, object comes first, means object becomes active. So this is the basic rule of voice change. Now, if you think like me, you may wonder, why do we use passive voice? Isn't it interesting to know? Yes, we use passive voice when we don't know who did the work or when the work is more important. For example, my bag was stolen. Here, the object my bag is important, but we don't know who stole it. So, such sentences are described in passive voice. Now, let us understand when not to change the voice. Which kind of sentences are those where you are not supposed to change the voice or you can't change the voice? So, this is a very important rule. Please keep this in mind so that you should not make such mistakes. So, what is the rule? If there is no object in the sentence, then you cannot make passive voice. Now, let me show you the sentence. For example, he sleeps. Subject is here and he is doing some action, that is sleeping, but there is no object. So if there is no object, that means we cannot change it into passive voice. Passive voice is not possible. I hope things are clear to you now. You are in a better position to answer your questions in the examination. For that, I have created a small test for you. Go through the test, send me the answer so that I could understand that the topic is clear to you. With that, catch you tomorrow, same time, and we'll go into detail about the active and passive voice. Love from my side.